I hope this 35 Remington is okay to use in the thick bush. Hi, George here, and welcome to Tales from Target Suite, where I'll share my perspective on guns and shooting, and we'll have an adventure or two that will make even a grown man smile. And yes, in today's video, we are going to start season 2 of the Best Brush Gun Cartridge series. And to kick it off right, we're going to start with my Marlin Model 336. This one's from 1959, and it's chambered in 35 Remington. And last season, a lot of you guys really beat me up because I didn't test the 35 Remington last year. But the problem was I didn't have one. But this season's going to be a two-parter because first thing we're going to do, just like we did last year, we're going to go through a series of cartridges. I've got some new bullets that I didn't have last year and some new guns and cartridges that I didn't have last year in cartridges that I didn't have last year. And so the first part, we're going to test for to see what happens with a bullet when it has incidental contact with a vine or a twig or some brush. And to kind of lay out the test setup, let's head down to the range and let my assistant show you the setup. Well, I've been really wanting to get started on this series again because it was a lot of fun last time, and like I said, we've learned a lot. But here is where we're going to put the coupons. They're going to go just like this. And then we've got a target down here, and the coupon is at about 10 yards, and the target is at about 20 yards, and there it is. So I'm doing the best I can to set up a repeatable test for deflection so that we can get a comparable deflection. And in order to do that, I'm going to shoot 3 rounds, clean shots into the target to establish a group location and a group size. And then I'm going to set these coupons, as you saw from my assistant, I'm going to set these coupons up 10 yards in front of the target. I'll still be able to see the basic outline of the target, and so I'll be shooting through the coupon, still trying to hit the center of the target. And then we will be able to tell what happens to the bullet after it goes through either a fresh coupon or a fresh area of the same coupon. We're going to be able to see if there's deflection, if there's any upsetting of the bullets, things like that. Now, just to be clear, I am not advocating shooting through heavy brush. I don't think it's ethical or responsible. But if you hunt very much in heavy woods, thick brush, whether you're in the south or in the button willows up in the northwest, I don't know, but there's lots of places where you're going to be doing your most effective hunting in thick cover. If you do that, then you're eventually going to have incidental contact that's going to impact your bullet's stability and your bullet's point of impact. And so that's what we're trying to test here. And then once we get through these different guns and cartridges and bullets that I want to test, we're going to kind of pull them all together, and we're going to compare terminal performance, handling of the guns that I have, and some factors like that, along with resistance to deflection, to come up with what will no doubt raise a few feathers, and that is what is the best brush gun cartridge. So I hope you'll stick with us. It's not going to unfold over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a little bit of a longer process to get all of these things tested, but I hope you'll stick with us. And I hope that focused. So the first bullet we're going to shoot is going to be factory ammo, the 200 grain Core-Lokt bullet. And then we're going to shoot 2 cast bullets, because we found in season 1 of cast bullet performance, we found that very hard cast bullets with a wide flat nose performed best. They resisted deflection the best. And so we've got 2 bullets here that we're going to test. One of them is a long flat nose hard cast bullet from Montana Bullet Works. It's a 200 grain hard cast bullet. And then we've got another one we're going to test. This is a 200 grain hard cast wide flat nose bullet from Cast Performance. And the Cast Performance bullet has a wider nose, or a bigger mepla, than the Montana Bullet Works. So I don't know if that'll make a difference, but we're going to give it a try. And so with all of that said, let's head down to the range and do some shooting. Okay, I'm going to go put up the coupon. Okay, now I'm going to go change the target, and we're going to start with the Montana Bullet Works long flat nose bullet. We'll do the same scenario all over again. This is the Montana Bullet Works hard cast 200 grain bullet. Cast Performance wide flat nose. Okay, that was a lot of moving fast. And let me go collect those targets, and we'll reconvene back up at the house, and we'll talk about the results. Well, if you've made it this far, I want to say thank you, and I think you have earned the right to offer an opinion here on how much detail I showed in the shots, because we're going to do several more videos like this. And so do you want to see all of the coupon shots? Do you want to see all of the targets? Do you want to see them both overlaid? So you let me know in the comments how you would prefer to have subsequent videos done, and we'll see where we go from there. But anyway, there's one of the coupons, and there's the entrance side, and these are really fairly soft, and fairly soft sticks. And so I did a test last year where I compared dried sticks with sticks like this, and the dried sticks caused quite a bit more deflection. And so we're using fresh sticks. But let's take a look. And there is the Remington Core-Lokt that we didn't get on camera, but there's two shots, and the third shot, and I'll pop in an image here, the third shot was way down here. But there's something very interesting here about the Remington Core-Lokt, and we saw this phenomena last year, and that is that we have some really clean holes here that are punched like a paper cutter, like a paper punch, hole punch would do. And it just so happens, here is a Core-Lokt bullet, and if I put it in base first, and you can see the profile of that cut right there, exactly fits the base of this bullet. And so I believe, and the only way to test this is with a super high-speed camera, real high-speed camera, but I believe that these bullets, a lot of these bullets are hitting the coupons. Remember, they're spinning at 40 or 50,000 RPM, and I think when they hit the coupon, they destabilize, and then because of the spinning, they quickly restabilize base first because the mass of the bullet is towards the base. I believe that's what's happening, but I'm sure we're going to have other comments and opinions there, and they'll all be opinions until maybe I could get somebody like Tower Fledermoss to do a coupon test with his high-speed camera, and then we could tell if that bullet is spinning around and then finishing its travel base first. But there's the Remington Core-Lokt, and deflection was drastic. And that's what we saw with jacketed bullets from our tests last year. And here is the Montana Bullet Works 200 grain long flat nose. And so we had about a 3-inch deflection. Not too bad, because that is at 10 yards beyond the target. And most guys would say, look, that's way too far. You know, we would be shooting at something that was just on the other side of the bush. But the reality is, if it's an incidental contact, that vine or that limb that you miss seeing could be 10 or 20 or 30 yards from your target. So that's still good data. But what's important here is that the bullets are destabilized, because you can see that is a keyhole, an oblong hole. This is an oblong hole, not quite as bad. This one is pretty round, but nonetheless, those bullets, these hard cast bullets, are destabilizing. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because bullets are designed to go in straight. And then that way they'll follow a straight pattern, a straight path. They'll have deeper penetration. You have a bullet going in sideways. It sounds cool, like, oh, it's going to do so much damage. But bullets are not designed, especially jacketed bullets, are not designed to function that way. And so if you go in any other orientation other than nose first, you're going to get subpar performance out of your bullet. So Montana Bullet Works, great bullet, and I have shot them. I like them because they are well made, they're consistent, but you can see what kind of deflection we got. And then we have our cast performance, and by the way, the Montana Bullet Works has the smaller MEPLA. The cast performance has the larger MEPLA. And all of these bullets did well. Of course, it's only 25 yards or 20 yards, and I was really not straining to get the best possible group size here, because I didn't even have a rear bag. But we've got 3 shots here, and all 3 of those shots, well, this one appears to be destabilized. There's 2 shots here. One of them, this top shot, looks to be round. This bottom was destabilized. This one looks to be round. And so cast performance still, the point of impact changed by about 3 inches, and there were signs, at least in 1 or 2 of those, of destabilization. So 35 Remington, it is arguably a great brush gun cartridge. But when it comes to deflection, it is susceptible, just like most of the other cartridges that we tested, cartridges and bullet combinations. So we'll see how it does in the overall test when we bring the 35 Remington in the fold with other rounds that we test, and then the deflection data will just be a part of it, because I, for one, am going to hunt with the 35 Remington this fall. I like it. I really like that cartridge, and I'm going to be using the Remington Core-Lokt for my hunting round, because I got sub MOA accuracy out of those Remington Core-Lokts at 100 yards. So I'm just going to do a super job of making sure that I don't hit any brush coupons on the way to my deer if I have a chance. But hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you click on the bell, then YouTube will let you know when I post a video. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. There's actually a deer. I'm here making a video, and there's a deer right there. It's a little buck.